How we doing, everyone, and welcome back to the Richie Hicks Jr. Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Richie, here with my good friend, Mr. Idris Salam.
Uh-oh. Falling down like Eli Manning.
Uh-oh. And falling down in the standings, similar to our New York Yankees, which once looked like a guaranteed home field advantage, is now starting to shrink a little at the hands of who else? The Houston Astros. Just to inform everyone, the Yankees were swept today. Two really tough ones. Game one on their last out, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa tied the game, only for Michael King to have an uncharacteristically really bad ninth inning. However, he almost got out of a bases-loaded jam. Fast forward to game two, Domingo Germán making his first appearance since last season. Got lit up early. The Yankees managed to come within 2 runs.
In the ninth.
Giancarlo Stanton was on deck. Matt Carpenter swung at a really silly pitch on 3-1 out of his zone. And I want to say Aaron Judge's home run literally left Minute Maid Park. It broke a window. Next level Ruthian blast, as I like to say.
Yeah.
But we didn't win the ball game. So I must ask, Idris, as a Yankee fan like myself, are you concerned?
Yeah. I think we can still go all the way, but the Astros are going to be a headache, man. It's like they have our number, man. They're tough. I don't like them, but they're tough. And
I will say this. I don't quite despise them in the same way that I did in post-2017, post-2019, because of the fact that I do have a lot more respect for their current skipper, Dusty Baker, than I could ever have for their former skipper. Fuck you, AJ Hinch.
All day.
I do want to say this. I try to keep things in perspective, whether they're big wins or big losses. And I believe in the Yankees case, Monty pitched a really good game one. And game two, Domingo Germán didn't pitch well. And not to be surprised, the man hasn't pitched in a long time. No Garrett Cole in this series. He pitched towards the end of the last game before the break. They were in the All-Star game literally less than 48 hours ago, some of these guys. Yeah. I'm just a little frustrated because I wanted, if we were going to get beaten that second game, I wanted Stanton to have a chance to do something.
Yeah.
Matt Carpenter, who it's hard to complain on, I mean, the guy's been on fire. It's like anything else. What prevented the Sacramento Kings from being a championship team in the 2000s? What prevented the New York Knicks from being a championship team in the 90s? What prevented many other teams? The Braves prevented the Mets from being a championship team, and then the Yankees did. Ultimately, you got to beat your main nemesis, the team that has held you down for an extended period of time, in order to do that. And whether we won 2 today or lost 2 today, that was not going to be decided unless if we go through these guys, which is very likely in October, whether they have the home field advantage, whether we do. I do think that gets a little overblown. Yankees are a very good road team, as are the Astros. Whoever has home field, I do believe both teams are good enough to win on the other teams in the other team's stadium.
I agree.
But I will say this.
I agree.
At this juncture of the season, regardless of what the standings say, I'm going to be humble, and I'm going to say that as of right now, today is July 21st, the Houston Astros are the best team in the American League, in my opinion. If we're doing power rankings, the Yankees would be a very close second, but it doesn't matter right now. I do think that the Yankees showing fight at the end is what I'm most concerned about. How did they look when they lost? They almost vanquished a 5-run deficit. And I do believe that if Carpenter takes the walk, Giancarlo might have giving us the lead. We'll never know. It didn't happen. There is, I've already turned the page. We have a very tough series in Baltimore, a team that's ascending. Astros and Yankees are the only two teams in Major League Baseball playing today.
Yep.
Yeah.
I feel the same way about the Astros. They're doing what they have to do. They're a good team, and they beat another good team. What else?
Yes.
They're the best in the league right now. I feel if Carpenter got on base, even took it to 3-2, I think that'll put fear in them. You get them on base, you got Stanton coming up. You don't know what the pitcher's thinking.
I mean, he's coming off that All-Star Game MVP and feeling pretty damn good about himself. I don't know what happened. But we had their closer on the ropes. 8 pitches in game 1, which isn't much. But Ryan Presley, who the Yankees happen to own, is on paternity leave. So congrats to his wife and newborn baby, or soon-to-be newborn baby. Congrats to him.
Mm-hmm.
But what I want to say is they didn't have their guy. We let him off the hook tonight, but I do think there's reasons to feel good. It's all about the second half. And, we're going to get tested this latter part of July with, a very tough 3-game series in Camden Yards to be followed by 2 World Series type atmosphere games in Queens against the rival Mets. And then you wrap that up with 4 games in Kauffman Stadium against the Kansas City Royals. And at this juncture of the year, nothing's easy because what the Yankees are starting to realize is when they play everybody's going to give them their best shot.
Yeah.
And that's part of being a champion and learning how to be champions. Aaron Judge, can't say enough good about him. MVP caliber year. In your opinion, what do we need to add going into this stretch? What does the team need in your estimation? Do we need another arm? Do we need another outfielder?
Yeah. I think we need another arm. I want to go closer, man. I want to go closer. Cause down the stretch, man, you're gonna need somebody to stop him, stop whoever.
Are you slightly concerned about, even though Clay Holmes has been money this year, that maybe come October the role might be a little too big for him?
Yes, any other year, no. But this year, yes, because of where we are.
A lot on the line.
And it's a lot on the line. And the further down we go, I mean, I'm not going to jinx us, but I feel the AL East, I don't think we're going to get caught. And that's pressure because when you get down to September, late August, that's when that's where the money's at, man. Because October's right around the corner. I mean, I would like to have a starter. Maybe Cagallo.
This is what I think is going to happen. I think the Yankees are trying to lean on solutions that are already in the organization. Domingo Germán is a good pitcher. He didn't pitch well today. Luis Severino is an interesting case because I do feel that out of all the options in the rotation, the one that is the most adaptable, if he should end up in the pen, would be Luis Severino. If they want to give Domingo Germán a shot, obviously he's going to have to pitch a lot better if he wants to be considered to be in the rotation. The Gallows situation is interesting because the Yankees are in a position where they can DFA him, or they can trade him for possibly another rotten contract, but just a new body, a new human, somebody different that can contribute to what the Yankees are trying to ultimately achieve. I do think Aaron Hicks is tolerably coming around. Tyler Wade, utility piece, they brought him back. At the end of the day, this comes down to their big 4 in the lineup: DJ LeMahieu, Anthony Rizzo, Aaron Judge, Giancarlo Stanton, and sprinkle in a little bit of Glaber. Another solution potentially, even though he was kind of like an outcast or sent down to Scranton, could potentially be if Miguel Andujar does get one last shot. That would be a hell of a story if he was to come up, because Tim LeCastro is nowhere near, it doesn't seem like it's tough to kind of figure where they put LeCastro into this mix. He's a valuable piece in terms that he could run. But he missed a lot of time, recently came back. Ultimately, I do not expect anything too splashy. I think the Yankees know why they are in the position that they are, and it's because they're a damn good team.
If anyone gets moved, I think it would be Gallo. But then again, the way Cashman was talking the other day, that might just be pillow talk. Like
it's a lot. It's a lot of money.
Doesn't want to get rid of him,
even though it's only half the season. I do believe that the Yankees, at minimum, have enough options where they can mix and match. It's been a big point of mine for quite some time that I don't want Hicks and Gallo in those same lineups. Gallo does bring value in the sense late in games he can play some good defense, and he has a knack for having a strange bit of luck when needed. Why and how at hitting 160, I don't know. That odd triple in Fenway. He's the type of dude that'll get a really tricky infield hit because he just didn't hit the ball well. But ultimately, this is a guy that normally averaged in between 30 to 35 homers a year, and he's never going to hit for average. The Yankees know what they were getting there. They were trying to bank on his power for the short porch. Ultimately, I still think they're in a good position. Matt Carpenter has been a godsend.
Oh, man. He came off the couch, dude.
Yeah, he really did. Literally came off the couch. Gleyber Torres is kind of having a very important career-defining season because he was one of those guys that could have been casted out into where does he fit, but they've done a very good job of managing games played, innings, rest days between Donaldson, Torres, and LeMahieu. LeMahieu could play every position in the infield with the exception of short.
Yep.
And Torres was forced out of short in that IKF trade. Can the New York Yankees accept that they will be knocked out in the first round and having a good record means nothing? A high school team has a better chance than the Yankees. I'm sorry. Richard Villarreal, you got to be real. I do believe that the Yankees are not a team that's getting knocked out in the first round. You got to consider the team ERA. They could pitch. You're having a guy like Aaron Judge who is having an MVP caliber season. I am not the most optimistic in terms of are they definitely going to beat the Astros? A lot has to be unpacked. And there's no guarantee that the Astros can't get knocked out by somebody else either. Because at the end of the day, that time of the season is all about matchups. Last year, the San Francisco Giants had the best record in Major League Baseball, and their season ended in one day. MLB has done a little better with providing a little more fairness in terms of that wild card round. But, Rich, I don't know who you support. I'm assuming you're a Met fan with a comment like that in all caps, but I appreciate you tuning in, and I appreciate you giving us your 2 cents. But, no, I do believe the New York Yankees will win the American League, and I do think that this is the year that they finally get over the hump. No guarantees in the World Series. There's another good New York team that plays in Queens that, if DeGrom comes back healthy, can definitely make some noise, not to mention the Dodgers are always in the mix, and the Atlanta Braves are the defending world champions. So there's a lot to still be unpacked. I guess the message that I want to leave is if you're a Yankee fan, this is not the time to panic. And if you're a Yankee hater, this is not the time to count them out.
Nope. The Astros are a good team. I mean, so if anyone says, the Astros beat y'all, the Astros are the second best team in the league.
American League? Yeah.
They're not, so, the fourth best?
And at the end of the day,
and
at the end of the day, they've won 4 out of 6 against us, and 2 of these games were decided by 1 run. The 2 losses.
They're a good team.
Yeah, it's not like the Yankees, it's not like the Astros came into Yankee Stadium and this was like what they
Good
called
stuff.
in the '70s the Boston Massacre, like when the Yankees just went in there and mauled the Red Sox.
Right, exactly.
Or previous Yankee
that
teams that got mauled by the Red Sox, like vice versa. You know, that's not what happened here.
That ninth inning, man. That ninth inning, our big man was coming up. Carpenter swung out of a bad pitch.
A bad pitch that induced a double play. And I can't get on Carpenter for the way he's hit this year. But I must say that I was aggravated because I would have liked to see Stanton get an opportunity with just, you know, a guy who's not their real closer on the ropes. And as I already alluded to, the Yankees have had their real closer's number. And that is something to look for in these games. A lot still yet to be determined. And I'll be honest, I hate the Astros, but I wish both teams complete health because as a Yankee fan and as a fan that I feel that we not only got slighted in 2019, but of course 2017, win, lose, or draw. Oh, there is no draw. Win or lose, I want both teams healthy because I don't want any excuses. If we win, if somebody important is missing, or if we get beat. We get beat, I could live with that. The Houston Astros are a phenomenal baseball team.
They are.
And I will not deny that.
Before we get out of here, I got to give it to the Orioles, man.
They're climbing back. They're climbing back into some relevance.
They look good.
They do, and
I mean,
I tend to think that the Red Sox are going to be the team that's in the basement when it's all said and done in our division.
But that's what I said in our last show. The Red Sox are going to get overtaken by the Orioles. The Orioles are playoffs.
And the Blue Jays better watch their ass too. They recently fired their manager about a week or so before the break.
I didn't understand.
It was a panic move because going into the year, the Yankees were projected to finish probably like around third. I think most people had the Rays and the Blue Jays ahead of the Yankees while they still didn't have a great faith in Boston. And why would anybody pick the Orioles? My dark horse team in each league, I have a funny feeling that the St. Louis Cardinals are going to make some noise in the postseason. They've had a propensity for kind of scraping by in various seasons, going on runs. In the American League, if there's anyone that kind of stands out, I can't believe I'm even saying this. I do believe the Baltimore Orioles definitely have enough time to possibly sneak in and be a Cinderella story. And at some point, I have to think that the Chicago White Sox, at some point, have to wake up and sneak in. When you look at their roster and you look at their underachievement, it just doesn't line up or make a lot of sense. This is a team that was expected to challenge pretty much the AL elite and to have a chance to be in the World Series. The ascension of the Minnesota Twins, while I do believe they were going down the right track of improving, I don't necessarily think that anybody saw them having the kind of year they're having. And, you know, I think both teams benefited from that trade. I think the Yankees shored up that side of the infield. And I think the Minnesota Twins brought in some new blood in addition to cultivating what they already have over there. Minnesota Twins have a young team, and as I already alluded to, there's no guarantee that the Yankees nor the Astros don't get knocked out by somebody else. And while the Yankees have historically owned the Twins, I think the Twins are a legitimate threat to each the Yankees and the Astros, depending on what can happen in a 5 or a 7-game series. A lot of baseball to be played, a lot to still be unpacked. I mean, shit, Cole had the worst game of his life against the Minnesota Twins. Oddly enough, we won that game.
But he got
4 consecutive home runs to open a game. That's like, I don't even think I've ever done that in the show. You know, that was crazy. That shit was crazy.
My dark horse, I'm going with the Cardinals also, and I'm still sticking with the Rays. Man.
I don't know how I feel about the Rays. I said this on the last show. They just make so many mistakes this year, and it just seems like
they do.
From the defensive standpoint, they're just not that sound team that you come to expect. And also offensively, they've been struggling. Offensively, I mean, I give them a lot of credit because Kevin Cash is usually a shoo-in to be a finalist for Manager of the Year. To my knowledge, a friend of the show, Jordan Patrick, mentioned to me that no one has ever three-peated as manager of the year. I don't see that happening this particular season with Kevin Cash. Believe it or not, Aaron Boone has a chance. Buck Showalter has a shot.
Hey, but the Rays are the third best team in the AL. The third best team in the AL.
In the AL. Yeah, it's weird. The power is definitely in the East, and I myself do get frustrated.
Yeah.
When people try to claim that the NL East is the best. I'm sorry. If you have the Diamondbacks and the Rockies in your division, you cannot sell to me that that's the best division, because while I do respect the Padres, the Giants, and of course the Dodgers, they're beating the snot out of two very bad teams 19 times a year. And the Orioles used to be that doormat for most of the AL East. Even when they were bad, they seemed to have our number.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say this right now. We are only one day in. Like I already said, the Astros and Yanks are the only two teams to play in MLB today. I'm going to jump on this right now. Yankees, Astros, American League Championship Series, and yes, the Yankees will have home field advantage. And I'm going our crosstown rivals, the New York Mets, facing the Los Angeles Dodgers. And I'm not giving my predictions because I don't have to yet. We're not even in August.
Right.
I think we're out. I gotta kind of just get my mind right and wrapped around. It's not the typical series sweep. It's not the typical series loss. You know, it got broken up into two different parts of the season. Don't overreact, Yankee fans. I see some of these Yankee fans. It's like the expectations have got driven so high because they were chasing this 98 team that nobody knows how to handle a loss, or let alone a series loss. At the end of the day,
Fire Boone.
It is now July 22nd, and the Yankees have only lost 4 series all year. So I'm going to say this to all Yankee fans alike: calm the fuck down. And I'm going to say this to people that hate the Yankees: don't count them out. You will see them in October, and this is not the same Yankee team that has lost in some real peculiar ways and some devastating ways over the years. I do believe this is going to be a different outcome for this season. He's Idris. I'm Richie, but go ahead. You got some? No, go ahead.
Oh, okay.
You got something cooking there. I see that face.
And a tribute to your father, who's a Green Bay Packers fan. I'm gonna say what Aaron Rodgers said. RELAX. Relax. It's just July 21st. Or the 22nd now.
Yes, it is. 2 minutes into the new day. And I got to work today as this man. I believe you're working today too, right?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's about that time. Idris, as always, excellent job. We're going to be getting out a lot of football content in the very near future. We are very much looking forward to doing our divisional previews. Obviously, we want to see how everything shapes up with the preseason. We wish health to all these teams. We have some fan base, fan focus episodes where we're going to get behind the scenes with frequenters of the show and also people that have never been on the show that are diehard sports fans, and they're going to share their stories of why they root for who they root for and just who they are in general. Until next time, I'm Richie. He's Idris. Thank you so much for watching, and we hope you have a great rest of your week. We are out for now. Peace.